Hello foodies, my name is Miguel Everett Walker and I am the host of The Best Bite, and welcome to my channel. This particular cooking show is really all about life experiences, food, and really how they connect together. So this is a very special episode because it is sponsored by Logan Street Market, which is nestled in the heart of Germantown, located in beautiful Louisville, Kentucky. Today's episode is really all about breath. In fact, we're calling it Take a Breath. Can you hear all this ambient noise around me? If you're trying to shoot an episode, will that stress you out? Are you looking for something really quiet to do, but you can't find the time? Do you feel anxious at all? Do you feel like you're always rushing and eating, but you don't have time to take to yourself? Well, if that's the case, you're building up a lot of anxiety. That's really bad, so you're probably breathing incorrectly. So this episode is all about taking a breath, some proper breathing exercises, as well as what foods can contribute to the health of your lungs to help create more healthy breathing throughout our circulatory system, which in turn will give us just a much easier, happy day, and I promise you'll also be able to just enjoy your food a lot better. So without further ado, let's get to it. Hey foodies, so I have no idea really what I've done with that other footage that actually was filmed in Logan Street Market. I'm really disappointed. I did film that about 3 months ago, and the reason I've taken so long to follow up was because I tried my best with what little knowledge I have about cameras and recording and that sort of thing, files, audio files, visual files, to try to repair it. And I, went through lots of different versions of trying to do that, and I was not successful. So I thought, I want to at least honor that video, and again, to extend my thanks and gratitude to Logan Street Market for sponsoring the video and for letting me go into their lovely space. That kitchen's gorgeous, and I certainly do endorse them and recommend that you be a patron. Okay, so again, taking a breath. I took a very long breath. I was really, actually, to be perfectly honest, I was really pissed off I couldn't figure out what happened in those files. But this is just a good reminder to take my time to breathe and to enjoy the moment, right? And not let it be something totally negative. So, so I guess picking up where we left off, let's talk a little bit about the foods that are great for lung capacity, okay? So I have a list of good things for you here. So what we're gonna make is we are going to make a baked salmon. It's gonna have some cayenne pepper and have a lemon and honey drizzle sauce over the top of it. And that's gonna be really great. And so the reason we've chosen salmon is for this reason. So salmon contains, I'm sure as you know, amino acids. And so those are great because they're good for building protein and also cellular repair. So it's gonna be good for recuperation, and this happens by absorbing the proteins from the amino acids. So the body on its own actually can't reproduce its own essential amino acids, so we get those from outside sources like our foods. I think we get that from the sun a lot, but we can get those from our foods also. And so that helps with respiratory as well as muscle building, respiratory building and muscle building as well. So of course, when we have stronger breathing muscles, we'll be able to have more CO2 capacity. And that's going to allow our circulatory system and blood oxygen level to flow a lot smoother, more naturally, and that will make it just a lot easier to breathe. And then to complement that, we're going to do an apple and cabbage salad. So if you're someone who likes slaw, I do like slaw, but I don't like a mayonnaise-based slaw. I like a vinegar-based slaw. And so we're gonna just simplify that and do an apple and cabbage salad. I chose purple cabbage. Purple cabbage is my favorite. I think it's gorgeous looking, and also a little bit sweeter. Apples, not only do they look great, they're bountiful in colors. There's so many variations of them, but they have a wide range of taste and textures. What's also cool is apples are sometimes referred to as nature's toothbrush because of the way that they're kind of fibrous and they break down when you chew them. They are going to kind of gently scrub your gums and teeth and remove bacteria and any debris that's on your teeth. But the reason we're putting it in our Take a Breath video today and our recipe is because apples have a lot of antiviral and anti-inflammatory compounds in them. They have flavonoids in them. And so I know it's kind of a nerd alert. It's like, why are you talking about these, compounds? But flavonoids are great because they are awesome for being anti-inflammatory, and they're also antiviral. And so they act as these kind of free radical eaters. And so they're going to make sure to scavenge for free radicals and really kind of pull them apart or eat them, And then because of that, they are anti-aging, and they are great for combating oxidative damage. So anything that the oxygen's eventually going to wear, and what do you say, like wear and tear, apples are going to help counteract that particular capacity. So it's going to be really great. So that's why they actually have that saying. I just realized this, but they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, because it's anti-aging and because it has those flavonoids, which are good for breaking down bacteria. So the other things that are going on our recipe for Take a Breath today are going to be things that are in the cruciferous family. And so the cruciferous veggie family, that's going to include things like broccoli, kale, cabbage, just to name a few. Cauliflower. And the reason that these are so great with helping you breathe better is they're good for your lungs. And here's some of the reasons why. So they're super rich in antioxidants, and they have chlorophyll. And so chlorophyll actually helps clean the blood. So when your blood is clean, obviously think about it just as your circulatory system. Think of it as a river. When there's less debris in the way, things run or flow through a lot smoother. And so that's literally what it's helping do inside your body. So you're going to have much better, again, CO2 production, and be able to literally just breathe and have that blood oxygen flow a lot smoother. Hey foodies, so we have our finished product here. We have quite a few ingredients that are really good for our lungs, for reducing inflammation, for building lung and protein production, and for fighting off free radicals and pollutants. All of those things are really great contributors into our healthy breathing. So it's not just exercising, it's going to also be a combination of both, right? It's what we're eating as well as what we're doing actively. So let's take a taste, shall we? Let's try the star of the show. Let's try the salmon. Ooh. Very yummy. That's good salmon. I mean, I cooked it, but I got it from Logan Street from a seafood market, so thank you. It's very good, very tasty. So, that light dressing of the citrusy lemon over top of it, it's really nice. Not overpowering at all, but good kick, good spiciness, and I like that it brightens it a little bit with that citrus on the back end, with that lemon on the back end. Very tasty. I kind of wish I used it a little bit more, actually. I'm still eating the salmon. Sorry, I'll get to the rest of it in a sec. Okay, let's try our salad. So I like bigger chunks of cabbage, so I did not cut the cabbage down very much, so it doesn't really look like slaw. That's kind of the idea, but that's why I just called it a salad instead of a slaw. But these are pretty much the only things from the types of slaw that I like are the cabbage and the apple. So here we go. Because the apple is sweet, I'm glad that we have that citrus in there and the spiciness, so it adds a little bit of tartness to it. And again, the purple cabbage is naturally a little bit sweeter, but it has a little bit of a spiciness to it, almost a, what's the word I'm looking for? Almost a licorice taste or an anise taste to it. Anise, however you say that. That's really good, I like it. I will say, however, the apple that I got isn't quite as crisp. So maybe do go for maybe Granny Smith or Fuji, something that's gonna give you a crisper bite, but a little bit more tart taste to it. But I do like it, very tasty. And again, our cabbage is in the cruciferous family. So again, powerful antioxidants. And the apples are the anti-pollutants. It has those flavonoids in it, so they're gonna eat those free radicals. All good for making it much easier as our heart pumps to get good CO2 levels, CO2-rich levels of oxygen flowing through the circulatory system. And lastly, we've got our other side dish, our cauliflower rice. Cauliflower again and kale are in the cruciferous family as well. So all those same benefits you're gonna get from the cabbage. That's just good. If you're someone who likes rice and, you know, kale or spinach, you can't go wrong with a nice little saute in a garlic sauce. I added ginger because I wanted that peppery spiciness in the back, which is exactly what I'm getting. And the ginger doesn't do anything to overpower the garlic flavor. You're not really tasting a gingery flavor in this, which is why I'm never fearful of combining the two. You're just gonna get that punch, which is what I wanted from the ginger, plus the benefits. Because you're only cooking this for about 2 minutes because the cauliflower rice cooks so quickly, so you're getting a lot of that nutrients left over. You're not cooking out any nutrients from the garlic or the ginger. And then brown just a little bit, so you got a little bit of caramelization from them. Very good. So overall, I'm very pleased with this dish. So now we've seen and tasted, feel free to follow along with the recipe, seen and tasted some of the many foods that are great for breathing. Let's talk a little bit about what we can do for ourselves in terms of those breathing exercises to help make sure we are continuing to breathe more appropriately and better for ourselves, okay? Coming up next. Okay, foodies, let's talk about breath. First, I certainly hope that you have a chance to enjoy the recipe I just put together. Those ingredients, particularly salmon and kale, are some of my favorite ingredients to just use in general cooking for myself throughout the week. And I certainly hope that you get all the benefits from that. So again, we're talking about breath and how that really is so pivotal, important, imperative, whatever buzzword is going to help stick it in your brain to help you understand that it is so important that we're really taking time to breathe correctly. So I have a few techniques that may assist you. So this is good. These are good exercises to do if you're experiencing any of the following: anxiety, trouble sleeping, digestive issues, and choppy or unclear thoughts. Okay? Like if you can't think clearly, foggy brain, sometimes people call it. So the first one is to practice 360 breathing. So what is 360 breathing? So take a second, if you will, with me, if you'll have a seat, or if you can stand in a neutral position, put yourself in a nice neutral seated position. So that means that when you sit down, your feet are flat on the floor, your shoulders are not up like this. They're relaxed, your neck and head are in a neutral position, so just at your eye level, straight forward. You want to make sure that your legs and knees, where they sit, where they fall, are not really much wider than your hip distance. So try to get it pretty even and congruent to your hips as well, and just relax. That is a neutral position. Or again, you can do it standing with the same thing to make sure that your shoulders are nice and dropped. So if you feel like when you breathe, if you're feeling or experiencing a sensation where your shoulders are going up and your neck is extending, then you're having what's called a dysfunctional breath or an incongruent breath. So when we are doing 360 breathing, we're actually doing the opposite of that. You want to make sure when you inhale, you expand the tummy. So think about your body, not just from your stomach, but from your navel all the way around to the right, back, all the way 360 degrees from the left to the navel again. So make sure that you are expanding outward, so that diaphragm is going to expand, so your breath can fall and rise evenly rather than trying to go up and hyperextend. So a lot of times we experience that over time. Once we start school, this is one of the studies that has a lot of input and makes a lot of sense. When we start doing a lot of tasks like schoolwork and work, then we start to carry things like backpacks or briefcases, and that tends to make us want to hunch over. And so we're overcompensating with breathing to make it seem like we're upright, when really we need to just stand in a neutral position, make sure our shoulders and neck are relaxed, and that we're getting a good nutrient breath by expanding our tummies. One of the other reasons that we probably do that is to make ourselves look slimmer. So it's kind of a way to make it seem like we are in a better shape than maybe we really are, but you want to make sure that you're letting that go. So I know sometimes being shallow helps, but we want to stop thinking about making ourselves look so pretty to other people and making sure that we're actually being really pretty to ourselves on the inside and getting really good nutrient breath. So practice that 360 breathing. So again, just take a nice deep breath in through the nose, expand the tummy all the way around, and then exhale. And as you do that, you want to make sure your shoulders and neck stay down. So that's one. And then let's talk a little bit about the anatomy of breath. So in yoga, we learn that the breath and the mind are really intimately connected. And so if you have short, choppy breaths, shallow breaths, then you're going to have a shallow mind, or a choppy, incongruent thoughts, that kind of thing. So we want to make sure that we are being cognizant to take nice, deep, nurturing breaths and nice, deep, nurturing exhales as well. So what I thought would be good is to combine the ideology of 360 breathing, the ideology of the anatomy of the breath and 360 breathing with a really cool exercise. And this one's really good if you're having trouble sleeping or relaxing, so if you're experiencing anxiety. This particular breathing, it's called single nostril breathing. And so if you've heard of that, we're going to practice that in just a moment. But what's really good is this is a good practice to help connect the two first items together, to really take time. And you want to do this in the morning and also before bedtime, particularly if you're having trouble sleeping or if you're having digestive problems. So what you want to do is take your index finger, we'll just start on the left side, one nostril completely, close it off. So again, make sure you're in your neutral position. And then just from that one nostril, inhale for a count of 5. And exhale for a count of 5. You repeat that 4 to 5 times, and then you do the same thing on the opposite side. So now with me, go ahead and close your other nostril, the opposite nostril you started with. And then inhale on a count of 5. Exhale, count of 5. Okay, and so that type of breathing really focuses on getting a deep nutrient breath. Because we're not breathing really fast, we're not doing any type of choppy breath. So we're making ourselves being mindful, we're taking a moment, so that really helps. And that type of lung capacity really goes to the base of the brain, and it's gonna help give you a clearer thought as well as the other benefits too. So practice those. If you're experiencing any of those issues, I will give some of the information that I did my research with, and I'll put those links in the description down below. Thank you so much for joining me today. And again, I'm so sorry I couldn't finish this video in the beautiful studio that I was in at Logan Street Market. Again, if you're traveling to Louisville, or you're already a Louisvillian, definitely hit up Logan Street Market. Again, they're in Germantown. It's a great place. They've got so many vendors that are there. And if you're experiencing any issues with breath, try some really good nutrient foods like the ones we did in our recipe today. And make sure to take time to do some good 360 breathing. And try, if you have particularly any anxiety or trouble sleeping, digestive issues, try the single nostril breathing in the morning and before you go to bed, and see if that helps you. Definitely let me know if it does. Let me know if you continue to dig these videos. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments below. Thank you again so much for watching this with me. Remember that you never have to spend $1 million to taste or experience the richness of life. And you want to make sure that if you're having any particular anxiety issues or you're not having enough time to yourself, take a breath, breathe correctly, and it's going to work out. Thanks again for joining me. We'll see you next time.